for being here. Today I'm very pleased to organize this workshop, France-Italy, a strategic partnership for innovation and growth. And I'm very pleased and honored to have some guests that will be presented in a few minutes. Just to start, in recent years, Franco-Italian dynamic economic relations have continued to strengthen, mainly via partnerships between BPI France and key players in Italy. Partnerships with Cassa Depositi e Prestiti, for instance with the Franco-Italian Accelerator, but also partnership with Invitalia, thanks to a new memorandum of understanding and a first Franco-Italian call for projects that were launched earlier this September. And this workshop will highlight concrete developments, prospects from both markets, all through this session. So now I'm very pleased to introduce Armando Di Lanno here, who is Head of Corporate Accelerators and Capital Structure Advisory. We also have the pleasure to have Roberto PASETTI, who is Head of Entrepreneurship Area from Invitalia. And then to have Alexandre Guillo, who is Director of Accelerators from BPI France. I'm CAMILLE TANG-TAYE PINOIS. I work in the innovation department and more specifically in the international collaborative innovation team. So we'll start with some questions for Roberto. So please, Roberto, Invitalia has recently formalized a partnership with BPI France. What were the key driving factors to that decision, and what kind of opportunities does it create for Italian and French companies?
Yes, first of all, thank you, Camille. Thank to BPI France for all the joint work we did together to finally arrive at this point. As Camille said before, the call is open, has opened last September 15th, so it's possible now for applicants to send their application. Then we will explain which are the procedure. Yes, to answer Camille's question, this memorandum of understanding between Invitalia, which is the Italian National Agency for Business Development and Investment Attraction, and BPI France, is under a larger framework which is called Trattato del Quirinale, which is a larger agreement between France and Italy about economic and industrial cooperation. In this framework, we induate together the opportunity of foster the joint innovation projects between Italian companies and French companies, in particular Italian innovative startups and French companies up to 2,000 employees, because we think this is one of the key focus of competitiveness, so to high the level of innovation in the competitive arena, international arena, to really strengthen the possibility of compete in this particular moment in this world in the field of innovation.
Okay, thank you, Roberto. And when Italian and French companies collaborate together, concretely, how does the process work, and what makes a project truly stand out?
Yes, I think the good idea we had together, then we will see if it will work, is that each company will follow a respective national procedure. So Italian startup can apply to Invitalia to go through line of financing that they already know, so that French companies can apply to BPI France as the same purpose. So we didn't invent something new procedure, new bureaucratic procedure. We use what we already have, what companies already know. So if an Italian startup and a French company who decide to carry on a joint innovation project can apply to Invitalia and BPI France. They will send a common template in which they describe the project. We will evaluate together, Invitalia BPI France, the innovative level, the substantial aspects of the cooperation, and then each side will be financed by ordinary procedure, national procedure, Italian and French procedures.
Okay, thank you, very clear. And are there specific sectors that type of innovation that currently generating the most momentum and interest on your side?
Oh yes, we open to all sectors, all vertical sectors, so we don't have specific rule about limitation of sectors, but what we observe is that in the last few years, innovation coming from Italian startups, we have some excellence in sectors such as green economy, circular economy, sustainable mobility, space economy, so these are excellence. Then we have a lot of initiative in digital economy, obviously the use of AI, blockchain, and so on.
Okay, thank you so much, Roberto.
Thank you.
Now, Alexandre, so why a French-Italian accelerator, and what do you offer?
Hello, everyone. So perhaps if I may make a step backward to explain in a few words what is an accelerator. So it's a dedicated program supporting SMEs, startups, SMEs, and mid-caps with consulting, training, and networking activities. We've been implementing such programs since the last 10 years. And a few years ago, I don't remember when it was, but maybe 2021, exactly. Thank you, Armando. We decided with our colleagues from the CDP in Italy to implement a dedicated program to enhance and increase the economic relationships between French and Italian companies. Why? Well, obviously, Italy is our third main economic partner in France, both in terms of exports and imports. So it was very important for us to try to support companies in order to help them in making more and more business with our partners from the other side of the boundary. And it's in a short, it can be like easier to export closer rather than every time going in other continents. So this is the origin of this program. And so it's a program which lasts 12 months. And it's inside the program, you have special assignments with Sciences Po and Bocconi, which are top-level business school, both in France and in Italy. And we organize peer-to-peer and network activities between both French and Italian companies.
Okay. Thank you so much, Alexandre. And more precisely, how do you work with CDP and Armando?
Armando, you can complete me. How do we work together? From the beginning, we work very closely together. There is a steering committee with my team like every month. So every month, we organize a steering committee in order to recruit, to set up, to define the content of the assignments, of the seminars. We work together in order to find potential partners to both French and Italian companies. So it's I said like it's the steering committees are set up every month, but it's a day-to-day activity and a day-to-day project that we are running together.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to add something, Armando.
No, you have well explained it.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And what is the impact on French companies?
Well, I have a few data to share. So since the beginning of the program, so we have launched 3 editions of this accelerator. The last one was launched in July, and it's been around 40 French and 40 Italian companies, if I'm right, Armando?
The last one was...
No, the last one was 6 from France and 12 from the side.
Yes, exactly.
But from the beginning,
overall,
40 and 40.
Overall, we engaged around 70 companies in the first and second edition of the programs, and around 20 in the last one.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
moreover, we have engaged 19 companies since the 2021.
80, I was not that wrong. few data that I have that for the 14 French SMEs from the second edition, the turnover grew by 13%. So it's really noticeable between 2022 and 2023. And the turnover, the export turnover, this is what is very interesting in such a program, increased by more than 20% over 2 years. In terms of employments, French companies, and maybe you will complete with Italian companies, new jobs were created, like a dozen of new jobs created, particularly in international function, of course. And every companies have worked on their business plan, expanded their sales approach, opening new channels, etc., etc. What can I add? The average satisfaction is very high because it's interesting to say that in France, in our side, the accelerator program were created and launched by former employees from Renault, so from the automotive industry. So we have a lot of KPIs, of quality KPIs that we follow every day. And what we can notice on this program particularly is that the average satisfaction is more than 90%, so we are very proud of it. And I thank our Italian partners because you're a big part of this program.
Yeah, very clear. And could you share with us a business success story, please?
Yeah, maybe I have a pharmaceutical company, a EMEA pharmaceutical company, so it's an SME, 10 million euros of turnover. And so it's a company based in near Orléans, like a lot of companies in pharmaceuticals. So it's a French SME which produces aluminum caps for injectable pharmaceuticals, and it's unique in France, and there are very few companies in such this activity in Europe. And through the accelerator, we connected the EMEA pharmaceutical with an Italian company which is called Pagani Capsule, and it's a 70-year Italian company, industrial and manufacturer in Milan. And the partnership has already added 5% of turnover more on the Italian side for EMEA, and paved way for new potential acquisition project that they will run together. So it's a very nice story, a wedding story.
Okay, amazing. Thank you very much. And now, Armando, please. So could you explain how Cassa dei Depositi e Prestiti supports Italian companies, please?
Yes. Good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure to meet here again in Paris. First of all, I would like to thank Bpifrance team for inviting me to Big 2025, which I believe is one of Europe's most important events dedicated to supporting corporate growth. With reference to your question, Cassa Depositi e Prestiti promotes Italy's sustainable development by sustaining business competitiveness, infrastructure, and local development. In particular, Cassa Depositi e Prestiti support the growth, innovation, and internationalization projects of small and medium enterprises, mid-cap, and large corporates, thanks to a range of measures that are direct financial support, that is additional and complementary to the banking systems, dedicated to companies with a turnover higher than 25 million, including direct corporate loans, loans for internationalization, and export credit. Moreover, we have an indirect financial support for companies with a turnover lower than 25 million, including instruments dedicated to financial institutions to facilitate the SMEs access to credit. In addition, we also developed alternative form of finance for small and medium enterprise and mid caps by structuring innovative financial solutions to facilitate the access of small and medium enterprise to alternative financing channels. And finally, Cassa Depositi e Prestiti believes in the importance of human capital, and for this purpose, two types of initiatives have been developing during the last years in order to promote the growth of a managerial culture. The first service is represented by the accelerator programs, with the aims of supporting the growth of companies in both domestic and foreign markets through training and business matching activities, access to an European network, guidance to the capital market, and support in identify identify the company strategy priorities. The second service is the capital structure advisory to support companies in the analysis of their historic and forward-looking financial results in order to better understand their competitive positioning and their real needs in terms of strategic action to be implemented in order to grow both domestically and internationally.
Okay, thank you so much. And Alexandre has already started to answer the question, but could you give us more details on how the cooperation between Cassa Depositi e Prestiti and BPI France all started, please?
Yes, of course. Let me mention the institutional context to better explain the origin of the cooperation between Cassa Depositi e Prestiti and BPI France. Well, in 2021, Italian and French government signed the Quirinale Treaty in order to establishing an understanding to enhance the cooperation between our two countries and to face common challenges together. These challenges include facilitating mutual investment, particularly by launching joint projects to support growth of startup, small and medium enterprise, and large corporate. But I would like to point out that this treaty is framed within an economic context that shows numerous synergies between our two economies, as demonstrated also by the recent figure on export related to financial year 2024. In fact, French export to Italy is approximately 45 billion, while Italian export to France reach nearly 62 billion. So, to exploit these synergies and to provide support to cross-border businesses, Cassa Depositi e Prestiti e BPI France, together with other partners such as Elite Business France, the French-Italian Chamber of Commerce, developed the French-Italian Accelerator in 2021, a program with the aim of supporting the growth and internationalization processes of small and medium enterprises and mid-caps in the French and Italian markets. In particular, the main goals of the programs are fortifying the export strategy by supporting companies in identifying the best growth model to adopt, developing business opportunity with potential stakeholders through the one-to-one business matching meetings, and finally, benefiting from the exclusive relationship with the leading French-Italian institutions such as BPI France and Cassa Depositi e Prestiti. So far, we have launched 3 editions of the programs, and the last one is currently ongoing.
Okay, and Alexandre has shared with us the results of the program for French companies. How is it on the Italian side, please?
We have around 70 companies participating in the first and second edition of the programs, with nearly 100 hours spent on lessons focusing on export and internationalizations, gaining insight to French-Italian market trend structure to better refine the business development strategies. Moreover, companies attended more than 400 business matching meetings for each edition, nearly 30% of which translate into concrete business opportunities. Furthermore, given the positive response to the initiative, we have decided to develop a 3rd edition launched in July 2025 with the participation of 19 French-Italian companies representing different industries and ambitions within the French-Italian markets. In particular, the program is structured into 4 modules, alternatives between Paris and Milan. Each module lasts 2 days, the first dedicated to training and second to business matching activities. And the first module of 3rd edition took place in Paris. We have already received very positive feedback from the companies, as Alexandre said before, and consider that Italian companies already had more than 60 one-to-one business match meetings, which we hope could generate potential business opportunities.
Okay, thank you so much. And do you have some example of Italian companies to share? Italian companies that already operate in France, for instance?
Yes, of course. I believe that the example of Italian company already operating successfully in both French-Italian market is the clearest evidence of the potential synergies between our two economies. Mm-hmm. The first example is Allied International, a company founded in 2000 that has become a world leader in the distribution and stocking of all type of pipes, flanges, and special products for the extraction, distribution, and the processing of energy supplies, with a specific focus on transportation of water, steam, oil, and gas. Well, this company has 16 production facilities, 2 of which located in France, where it has also 3 commercial branches. The second example is Italpizza, a company founded in 1991 that has become a leading producer of frozen pizza in Europe and Italy, and of course the Italian leading exporter in the American market. In 2024, company acquired a production site in France that serves as a strategic production hub, facilitating the distribution of its product across the region.
Okay, thank you so much. I think we have time for questions now. So are there any questions from the audience? Okay, it means everything was clear? Okay, thank you.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's not enough noise. Oh, no. How do you study? Non, ça marche pas. Okay. How do you study the go-to-market strategy to go in the French market, for example?
Yes, a really good question. Because when we engage in Italian companies during the preparation phases, okay, we maps all the needs of Italian companies. No, for example, there are some companies that want to grow abroad, simply widen their customer base. Other companies that want to go through an M&A process. Okay, after heavy mapping all their needs, thanks to the work of the French-Italian Chamber of Commerce, we help Italian companies to meet the right stakeholders by organizing business match meetings. And this is the same approach adopted by Bpifrance. They map all the needs of French companies, and then they rely on the experience of Business France that organizes business match meetings with Italian companies. Of course, I would like to point out that the work of Business France and Bpifrance, together with the knowledge of market of Cassa Depositi e Prestiti and Bpifrance, help French Italian right to meet the right stakeholders aligned with their needs.
Thank you so much. Are there? Yeah. Okay, please. Can I get the mic?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. And do you see some space and some opportunities for cultural and artistic market between France and Italy?
Okay. Of course, to be honest, relying on my experience, until now, we didn't have companies operating in some specific industries. But I would say, why not? If there is a company that operated in this industry and has a specific needs in order to approach new market abroad, why not? We can try to map in their needs, and after that, relying on Business France or the French Chamber of Commerce experience in order to help company to widen their customer base in the French Italian market.
If I may add something, of course, I completely agree with you, Armando. The companies involved in this accelerator are more industrial from the industrial sectors, but we have a lot of clients in France from the fashion industry, for instance, that already work a lot with Italian workshops. So this is definitely something we could enhance in the future.
Thank you so much. Are there other questions? Yes?
Good morning. I have a question. So during the introduction, they talk about the single market, which is like a priority at the European level. And I was wondering on which area or which industry France and Italy together would be strengthened than just France from one side and Italy on one side. I mean, in which industry and which area France and Italy should work more together in the future and tomorrow?
Oh, it's a big question you're asking, actually. I will answer very basically from the bottom, actually, because we work with SMEs and mid-caps, so we work with the bottom, actually. We have a lot of examples of industry working together in automotive industry, pharmaceuticals, fashion industry, as I said before. So we would have to work in every sector in particular to understand what are the possibilities, and I'm afraid I'm not the right person to answer to your question, but we do have in the 6,000 companies BPI France has accelerated in the last 10 years. A lot of companies, as I said, in automotive, pharmaceutical, fashion, energy industry as well, already working in the Italian markets.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, let me add that thanks to the experience of BP France, French Italian Chamber of Commerce, Business France, we are able to meet the needs of all industries. But I think that Alexander has summarized correctly. I want to add that I see some point of contact, in particular with reference to luxury, okay, defense, space, logistic, and in general manufacturing sector.
Thank you so much. Roberto, do you have something to add in this matter?
Yes, I would like to answer the previous question about artistic and creative. There's a lot of interest at European level to define creative industries. In Italy, as Invitalia, we manage a specific aid scheme for creative and cultural businesses, and we are trying to find a way to give economic value to artistic and creative initiatives. So we also see from innovative startups some interesting and excellent initiatives, projects in this field, using, for instance, blockchain to track artistic operas, and obviously AI, a lot of new technologies apply to creative sector. So I didn't mention it before to answer Camille, but it's one of, we have not a lot of initiative, but they're few very interesting.
Thank you very much. Maybe one last question. Yes,
Thank you. Hello. I know that BPI uses a pool of external consultants to help the SME depending on their needs. And I was wondering, on the Italian side also, do you have this method to use external consultant to help your Italian SME go in France or in Europe?
Of course, it could happen that SMEs ask the needs of external consultants, for example, for preparing a strategic plan, okay? But they are not directly engaged by us, no, to be honest. They ask the help of external consultants, and especially SMEs, no?
and on Invitalia's side, maybe?
Yes, of course. Enterprises, businesses, also team of individuals that are willing to set up a startup can ask for our services of tutorship and mentorship to set up a business plan and then to apply for our financial scheme. After the financing, we also have sometimes tutorship and mentorship services to go side by side with the projects carried on by the startup that we financed.
Thank you so much. Maybe if you all have final words for this Franco-Italian strategic partnership you want to share with participants. Do you have a word to conclude, Armando? Or?
Yes. Well, first of all, we would like to continue to work with BP France to support the 19 French-Italian companies participating in the third edition that will end next years. Then, given the well-established and long-lasting relationship with BP France, of course, we would like to develop together a new program to support the internationalization of French-Italian companies. I think that in coming months we will discuss together with the colleagues of BP France potentially opportunities to develop together in the future.
Thank you. Roberto from Invitalia?
Yes, we strongly believe in this initiative. It's the first time there's a joint call to finance projects between Italy and France. And I think it's an important step to higher the level of innovation and competitiveness. So we will see the result, but we strongly believe it's a good initiative.
Thank you. Alexandre, do you have something to add?
Yeah, sure. I mean, French companies have definitely a lot to learn from Italian companies. We're always looking towards our German neighbors and towards what we call the Mittelstand, so big SMEs and mid caps. But in Italy, I mean, French companies have a lot to learn on how Italian SMEs and mid caps cooperate together to gain new markets, and how do they definitely work together to be stronger and stronger. And this is something which is very full of insights from us.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for everyone who attended, and thank you to our guests.